Hello, our friend. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you, my friend?
We are well, thank you. Do you come in the love and light of the infinite one creator?
I do. Do you also?
We do as well. Yes, this is always good to confirm that.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So we are excited to speak with you again. It's been some time.
It has. Yes.
Yes. There's lots going on in your world, your particular globe.
Okay. Can you share with us some of what you perceive?
Well, we can only give you our perception, but it's up to you how you perceive it.
Right.
But there's always chaos, there's always turbulence, there's always a push and pull from service to self and service to others, and that's been ongoing for thousands of years. This is nothing new. Yes.
That's correct. Yes.
yes
That's
yes
my
yes
understanding.
yes. So but the way that we see the tide shifting, shall we say, we'll use our instruments vocabulary, tide, because she likes the ocean, the waves. So we see the tide shifting more towards service to sell or service to others. And so it's going to be gradual and it's going to take some time, but it will get there. And so we just observe you from a different perspective, more of an objective perspective, to kind of see where things are going to go. We cannot interfere. We do not interfere. We only have channels such as our instrument that we speak through, but we see a shift, and we believe that this could be positive for your planet should those on your planet choose to go in that direction.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed in previous sessions pretty extensively about the nature of the service to self
Mm-hmm.
activities beyond the earthly experience and how it participates in the creation itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the information that we have is limited and oftentimes biased towards one philosophical perspective as opposed to the other. But um, the service to self, and from my perspective, numerically is relatively small in comparison to the total population. Is that an accurate assessment?
That is an accurate assessment, but the amount of energy that they put into exerting themselves is what shifts things one way or the other. So they are very motivated, devoted, whatever you want to call it, whatever your vernacular is for that type of word, but they're very motivated to shift things one way versus the other. So they're very driven to do things their particular way versus just letting it go and just letting it ride, as our instrument says, which we think is strange, but it's a surfing thing, but letting it ride. So it's going to be more difficult to override that.
Right. Is
Mhm.
my again, it's my perspective, and I'm asking your comments and correction. The service to self is a choice to maintain, to preserve the false hierophant that we are designed to create. Is that correct?
And that is correct, but it's also their preservation of self existence, because without that energy or that input, then they diminish. So it's incumbent upon them to preserve that energy and recruit as much of that energy as they can. And so they manipulate others or let others drift, if you will, drift,
Mm-hmm.
and then incorporate into them. And so that's how they derive more energy.
Right, and that's leading to my next series of questions. The emotion that they are relying upon both internally and generating externally in what they perceive the world around them, we would characterize as fear, is it not?
It's fear, and it's also just an unexpected what's going to happen. And so I guess you could characterize that as fear, but it's very much of that genre of emotion, but it's mostly fear and it's mostly unexpectations, and it's mostly, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Like if you're in a family of four and you're going to lose your house, in, just scenario speaking, and you have that fear of whether it's financial, personal, relationship wise, that with your children, whatever it may be. So when you exhibit that fear, they pick up on it and they take it and feed off of it.
Right. That's how they manipulate the population or control the population. That's the domination and subjugation tool that they use to maintain their position. Is that correct?
To a point, but humans as themselves, they relinquish their control over their emotions and their contracts with other individuals that they had before they incarnated, and they relinquish their control of their feelings with those that they have incarnated with out of fear, and so that gives up more energy.
But the fear that the service to self fear is not the tool that they use to manipulate and control the undecided population. The tool that the service to self uses to polarize service to self is fear of not being who they perceive that they are. Is that not correct?
Yes, it's a denial of who you are as a person and what your role is. And so when you decide to not decide, but when you don't have the awareness to hold on to that and then you relinquish it, then you relinquish energy. And so that becomes very enticing to those types of beings.
So those service to self entities in the lower realms of consciousness, third density and even fourth density, um, fear the surrendering of the identity that they've created, and therefore are unwilling to surrender that by inwardly directed awareness, that self introspection. Is that correct?
Yes, when you inwardly direct all that awareness, which is not a bad thing, but when you discount the outward awareness, which is a reflection back to you about what's going on in the world. So when you discount that, then you sort of decrease your awareness and your energy because you are focused so inward that you discount what's going on around you, because what's going on around you gives you a reflection of what you may or may not be experiencing. So things that you dislike or that you do like, they're going to be reflected back to you. So if you choose all your awareness inside, then you miss all of those signcasts, broadcasts, what do you call them? Commercials? Is that what you call them? Yes, commercials. Then you miss all of that because it is a reflection back to you about your outside self. So if you discount that or frown upon it or don't want to have anything to do with it, that's fine. But if it gets your attention, then that's a sign from the universe that that's something you need to pay attention to.
Right, but those are triggers. The outside experiences are triggers for what we feel internally. Correct?
Yes, if you want to call it a trigger, we would refer to it as more of like a reflection,
a message,
a reflection of something that you need to pay attention to, or you look at it and reflect upon it, but pay attention to it. So it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but it is something that if it catches your attention. So say, for example, you're in a car with another individual and somebody says, oh, look at this sign or look at this and that or there. And the other person says, oh, what? So it means nothing to the person in the passenger car, but to the driver, it might get their attention. And there's a reason for that. And it could be so benign as just a sign in the sky or a sign that you're driving past. And if it gets out your attention, then that's purposeful. And it's meant to be there for a reason for you to reflect and think, what does this mean? As silly as it might be, whether it's a sign for a hamburger or a sign for a chicken or whatever it might be, but it's a sign for you to go, oh, let me think about this when I get home.
And these are experiences that we're talking about.
Yes, they're all
experiences. Are always messages. but the perspective of the perceiver, of the experiencer, determines how they perceive that. And I understand what I'm gleaning from what you're explaining to us. For those individuals that have not decided whether they're going to polarize service to self as service to others, or those that have chosen to polarize service to others, which means they're undertaking the task of surrendering their erroneous perception of self and discovering, venturing towards the discovery of their more authentic self. But the service to self is not inwardly directing that awareness, are they?
No, they're not.
Okay. That awareness is pointed outside of them because they've got to observe the world's reactions to their identity, their hierophant that they've created, so that they can modify that hierophant to make it more effective in tricking the world to giving them more of what they like. Is that correct?
They need that reflection back to them because they don't trust themselves.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Their awareness is pointed outside of
It's pointed
themselves rather
outside.
than inwardly.
Yeah, it's pointing outside themselves. So they need that reflection back to them to get more of a realization of where they're at. But it has to be from their perspective, because they don't trust themselves and they don't trust what they know. So they don't have confidence in themselves. Because if you lack confidence in yourself, you're going to have difficulty making decisions, right?
Yes.
So you point that outside of you, and then you wait for everyone around you, with whomever you interact with, to reflect that back to you. And that's how they make their decisions.
How does that experience transform as they advance along the consciousness scale on the service to self side?
On the service to self side?
Uh-huh.
Well, when
they still lack confidence in themselves?
Well, they keep getting that mirror back to them. So like imagine you look in a mirror and you see no self-confidence over and over and over. You might change your perspective. You might change with whom you interact with whom you bounce yourself off of. And so once you get more and more of that back to you, then you can gradually turn things around. But that is a conscious choice, because you do have self-awareness and you do have a conscious choice as to whether or not you want to do that. So it acts as a mirror, but it's up to you if you want to absorb that mirror image that you get or discard it and throw it away.
Okay. Even at the higher consciousness levels of the service to self path?
By that point, they're pretty much beyond that. That's like elementary. So once you're above like fifth density, you've pretty much made up your choice and you're pretty much on a path. And the mirror image that I just spoke to you about is going to be irrelevant, because at that point you've already exceeded those options.
Even though the demonstration of their fear status may differ, it is still fear that's motivating them to pursue the service to self path, is it not?
It's fear that's comfortable. That's the biggest thing, is that the fear becomes comfortable. And so to get out of that, to take that blanket off, like, when you're a kid, you like that blanket. So the fear.
Is it fear? Is it comfortable because
Yes.
It's familiar?
It's familiar. Yes, because it's familiar and that's all they know. And so in order to change that, it becomes very scary.
Right.
And so
it's still fear that's motivating them.
But it's also because it's a level of comfort. So when you're used to fear and you feel comfortable on that, then to take that blanket off, rip that Band-Aid off, as you say in your human language, rip that Band-Aid off, it's very uncomfortable.
Right.
Because you've got to look at the wound. You've got to look at whatever's cold or whatever's uncomfortable or whatever's hurting. And they don't want to do that, because then they have to look inside themselves and look at what's hurting, what's uncomfortable. And that's not comfortable for anybody.
It's fear of
looking at
fear
yourself.
of surrendering their false perception of self and allowing their authentic self to emerge.
Yes, and it's fear of looking at yourself and looking at your fears, looking at your whatever things that bother you, whomever bothered you. It becomes very personal, and so that becomes very uncomfortable. So there's a big reluctance to do that.
Anything that is uncomfortable is
Yes.
stress, is it not?
It is stress, if you want to call it that, but it's also difficulty looking at your own identity and looking at your own faults, because when you look at things that cause you fear or uncomfort, that's a reflection back on you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So many people do not want to do that. So,
Regardless of your level of consciousness advancement, though, it's always uncomfortable to do that.
yes, 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 yes. It takes courage. And if you're not courageous or if you're very fearful, then that becomes very challenging.
Right. But what you're really fearing is the falseness of the identity, the hierophant that we've created.
Well, from our perspective, we think that it's more that you're fearful of looking at who you are and what your role is in your particular life.
Because inevitably that leads to surrendering that hierophant and allowing the authentic self to emerge, which is what we're designed to do.
Yes, yes. So when you don't fit into that mold, or if you allow yourself to be who you were meant to be, or who you were uh, designed to be, then that becomes quite scary when it doesn't fit into a certain type of mold, whether it be a Jello mold. We're just making that up from our
Right.
from our.
That was humor.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Thank
That was
you.
some humor. Yeah, that was humor.
That
Yes.
usually comes from me. I appreciate your contribution.
Yes, 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 yes. No, that came from our instrument. Jello mold. She doesn't like
Yes.
Jello because it's gross. Anyways, um, but yes, so that's how it works.
Okay.
Mhm.
The archetypical mind, that for our galaxy, for
Mhm.
our universe,
Mhm.
is predicated upon using all 9 archetypes of the Creator to facilitate this process, this design. And in a previous communication, you had indicated that we are a 9-star system, but all of the um, system expansions within the universe don't necessarily employ all 9 archetypes. Is that correct? Did
That's
I
correct.
understand that
Yes,
correctly?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so for those, but all of the expansions within our universe are predicated upon those 9-star archetypes. Is that correct?
To a degree, there's more than 9 stars, as we've stated before.
Okay,
Yeah.
within our galaxy,
Yes.
so
Oh,
actually
yes.
other
Oh, yes.
archetypes
Yes.
are
Yes. Yes. Yes.
part of the galaxy that we experience.
Yes. 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 Your galaxy is so expansive, and
Yes,
there's more than 9. So to be stuck in the number 9, which we think is great, it's a good number, but there's far more than that.
well, I know that there's far more, but my previous understanding, obviously erroneously, was that each universe, each galaxy was a mixing and matching of a specified a number of the same archetypes, but that's not correct.
No, that's not correct. No.
Okay. So
That's
the
not correct.
archetypical mind that we are experiencing is duplicatable in other 9-star systems. Is it?
Yes.
Um, is it proliferated throughout creation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The same archetypical mind.
Yes. And it's more expansive. We don't want to be disrespectful, but your particular system is a little bit on the small side
Mm-hmm.
of intellectual understanding.
We understand that. Understood. Yes.
A little slower, but still longer. Lots of people
Still on the road.
still on the road,
Yeah.
still making progress, still going down the road. But we would just say that there's much progress to be made, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how galaxies work.
Right.
Progress, it goes at its own pace, and it's dependent upon what type of individuals, creatures, whatever you want to call them, live on each planet, and that depends upon their progression, and that's okay. And we are very appreciative of your efforts to drive the bus.
Okay.
Those are hers words, not ours. We're
Yes,
like,
the
what?
message
No.
is understood.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes. We would not. I don't. We don't drive. We don't know what that means. Anyways, so that is the progression. So we appreciate talking with you. We appreciate your efforts to propel the population forward and to encourage more enlightenment and encourage more conversation about conversational, just different topics like this,
Mm-hmm.
because many people, like our insurance mom, would not, but other people would be interested in hearing what you and I have discussed. And I think we, because we're all like a big group, we're like a big party.
Right.
Those are her words, not ours. Would appreciate, and we do appreciate your efforts in spreading the word.
Well, thank you. I think we both determined this is our mission that
Yeah,
we've undertaken for this incarnation.
yeah, she didn't understand why she had to move here or
Mm-hmm.
why she came here, but this is her mission. This is your mission, and as strange of a place of it is, um, this is what needs to be done to elevate the consciousness of the planet and the country, especially in this time and day,
Mm-hmm.
with all the interesting things that are going on in your country that you
Right.
call the United States.
Yes.
Yes, many challenges,
A lot of turmoil.
lots of turmoil, lots of challenges. We're not going to go into that,
Right.
but it is interesting that this time and place.
Well, let me ask you a little further about
Sure.
the archetypes that we were talking
Okay.
about.
Mm-hmm.
There, in my understanding, there are 5 inherent characteristics of the creator that became delineated in the course of developing creation. Is that correct? Are there more inherent characteristics?
There's more than 5, but yes, go ahead, continue.
Okay. Well, the 5 that I understand that I had been provided before were the awareness, love, wisdom, unity, and stillness in that hierarchical order.
Mm-hmm.
And there are more that have been
Yes.
delineated that serve as archetypes.
Yes, collectiveness, friendship, beingness, but more or less just friendship and being collective,
Mm-hmm.
like as a collective whole. And that's very important, is to be collective and to be conscientious.
That's separate. That's different from unity.
Well, how do you define unity?
Well, unity is a characteristic of surrendering that significant free will intoxication.
Yes, so that's a very individual characteristic, is it not?
It is, yes.
Yes. So community and collectiveness is different. That incorporates other people that you bring into yourself and or your being and into your soul group. So that's collectiveness. So that's different.
Okay, and that's not a behavior that develops from achieving that unity level.
No.
No, it's separate from that.
You cannot achieve unity until you have collectiveness and community. Do you see how
Okay.
the two relate and then up to the next step?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's how that works.
Okay, I'll have to ponder that some more. But the bulk of the archetypes that are used to create different experiences within creation are actually distortions of those inherent characteristics, are they not?
Yes, because they are filtered through your brain, your personality, and so it comes out in a different format, which is
Mhm.
not a bad thing. It just comes out in a different format. So it gives creation a different way to look at the same thing from a different way. So some people might reflect on it this way. Some people might identify it with this way. So it's very beautiful in that format because it reaches more people, but in a different way.
Diversification is an inherent characteristic of, or a quality of the manyness, the concept of manyness.
Yes. So in order to reach all the different people, you have to communicate in different ways that they can understand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're speaking in India or you're speaking in America or wherever, there are different ways to communicate the same thought, the same idea, but to reach the most people, you have to know how to express it.
With the same thought will have different interpretations by each individual recipient of that thought.
Yes, yes, yes. So you have to know how to experience that and how to express it properly for that particular dialect, country, group of people, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Are there a set of distortions that are predominant throughout creation that experiences are drawn from in order to create new expansions?
There are a few. Well, one is fear. Two is just creation of the planet, but that's going to be dependent upon your culture, as we just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
So those, yeah, there are different, and then just how you interact with people.
Well, we experience motion as an archetype, my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and an enhanced perception of separation, um, um, unconsciousness, and of course, free will as a distortion. And those, along with the five inherent characteristics that I had previously understood until your clarification in this conversation, comprise the nine archetypes that format the nine stars. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So motion would be a distortion of stillness, for example. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's an opposite of stillness, so it's a distortion of the stillness.
That's one way to look at it. Yes. I mean, you can never be still because if you're still, then you're dead. So,
Well, I'm not. I'm not. It's a concept, obviously,
yes, of course.
but as an inherent characteristic, it is
It's the ultimate calmness.
right.
Yes.
That's my understanding is associated with seventh entity. Is that correct?
That is correct. Seventh density and or eighth. Yes.
No. Well, eighth is a reassembling of all of those.
Yeah, but you're still, you're calm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you can kind of achieve that in sixth density to a degree
as you advance through the upper dimensions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there are there experiences that don't experience motion? Are there parts of creation that are formatted without motion?
No, because the whole point of creation is to have experiences and emotions. So no, even if you're a rock sitting on the bottom of a hill and you sit there and it's hot and then it's cold and you get snow, you experience
it's change.
Yeah.
So that's motion.
Yes, you experience emotions on this planet. Yes.
But are there elsewhere in creation? Are there experiences created that do not include those?
No, because then you don't grow. Then you don't learn. No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Then you don't grow. You don't go. You don't learn.
Okay.
Not from my perspective.
Who is responsible for creating the archetypical minds for these various? What level of consciousness? What aspect of
Sixth
creation?
Density.
Yeah, sixth density.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have to point our finger at them.
Our instrument wants to do something inappropriate right now. She just told us.
That is her effort towards humor. Okay.
Okay, we have to separate that out. It's difficult.
Yes, sometimes. I understand. Yes, so each expansion, and I'm at a loss for words. Calling it a 9-star system is not accurate anymore, but referencing the equivalent of a 9-star
yes,
system.
Yes, we understand
expansion.
your imagery. Yes, we
and
can see it.
The cumulative, would that be what we perceive to be the council of 9 that assembles to create the archetypical mind for the system?
Yes, you could look at it from that perspective, but there's more people, if you want to call them people, involved in that. It's not
that are extracurricular, possibly older in the system.
Yes,
that contribute towards the creation of the archetypical mind.
Yes. Yeah, it's millions of years old.
Right, I understand.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So there's lots of what you would call people
Hmm.
involved in that. So it's not just
Or
nine
entities.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, they all look different. Like some are green, some are blue, some are white, some are tall, some are short. So yeah, they all look different.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That that helps give me some dimension to what we're
Yes,
um,
yes, 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 yes. And
contemplating.
what we will tell you is that we're looking at your planet Earth.
Uh huh.
Oh, lots of changes going on.
Okay.
Lots of changes. Lots of changes.
Good changes.
Uh, mm, well, you're going to see a lot more earthquakes,
Hmm.
volcanoes, floods, things of that nature. And the whole reason is that Gaia needs to flush herself out. And we're not saying this in a bad way. We're just letting you know that there's going to be a lot of just geological changes
Hmm.
that are coming up. You're
To incentivize us to move forward.
No, it's to
No.
incentivize. It's to make people work together.
Well, yeah, that's moving forward.
But people working together, people
Uh huh.
helping each other out,
Right.
and there's going to be a lot more of that in the Philippines and other places. And the whole reason why Gaia is doing this, she's doing this service, and
Right.
so it's going to be beneficial for humanity to stop working so hard and work together. And that's the goal. And so Gaia is helping the planet and the humanity do that. And so you're going to see more and more um, difficult physiological changes and difficult
Well,
weather.
because of these behavioral changes, then we're being compelled to make that choice of service to self, a service to others.
Exactly. We didn't want to say that
That was the
precisely.
incentivization that I was referring to.
Yes, yes, yes. So you're going to see a whole lot more of that. So you're going to see a lot more weather related. We don't like the word disasters, but
Anomalies.
challenges, anomalies. Yes, yes, yes. You're good. You're better with words than our instrument. She's not good with words. She's not.
She's a science person.
You're an English person. She's not. So
I'm a language person.
I
Yeah.
know. So words are difficult for her.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make fun. But anyways, but you're going to see a whole lot more of that. And I think it's already started.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Philippines, I think, are going to be going to have some challenges, and other places around the Ring of Fire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yes, yes, yes,
those
yes,
in
yes.
the service to self are still promoting the denial of those changes that are taking place. Yeah.
That's how they
Which
make.
preserves their position.
That's how they make their money.
Right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. Okay.
All right. Thank you, my friends. Always delightful to be with you.
Oh, it was wonderful to speak with you too. Okay, we're gonna let her go. Just give us a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we'll go back to our spaceship. Okay.